What is the stupidest thing that ever came out of your mouth? I got off a red eye, very sleep deprived, and realized I forgot my glasses on the plane. I asked the very kind gate agent if she could go check my seat to see if she could find them. While she was gone, I touched my face and felt my glasses. I was mortified and apologized profusely when she returned. She was really nice about it though. Chatting to a homeless guy on the street and he told me he was feeling unwell. I told him he should be at home, resting. It's been 20 years and the memory of it still brings me out in a cold sweat. Asked my friend how his mom was doing at his mom's funeral. When I was doing a woman's taxes and asked her if she had any medical expenses for the year. She said, "Well, I had to put my husband in a nursing home last year." I said, "That's excellent. Big time deductions there." Then I looked up and saw the look on her face and it still took me another 3 or 4 seconds to realize why she looked so horrified. I've never apologized so sincerely and completely in my life. I had a really hard time forgiving myself for that one. Her. The twins are 3 years old me. Both of them. It was my birthday and it was getting cold outside, so I announced to everyone that I was going inside to put on long-sleeve pants. My neighbor was leaving for a funeral. A close family member had committed suicide by hanging. We talked for a bit. I gave her my condolences. Then as she was leaving I said, "Hang in there." Woman facepalming, light skin tone. But what about the duck's back legs? I didn't even immediately rethink it when my friend just stared at me. Watching the documentary, The Last Dance, when a Kobe interview pops up, me. Wow, they must have filmed this before Kobe died. My wife. Yeah, obviously. I'm a paper conservator by trade, and when driving through the New Forest, UK, recently to go hiking with friends, I realized that a village we were passing through was once the site of some famously beautiful trees that had featured in a print I had conserved years before. I didn't say that, however. What I instead proclaimed as we drove through *, the literal fucking New Forest * was *, guys. Did you know? Around here, there were once trees, *. Edit. Spelling. Girl I was interested in gave me her number out of the blue. I asked, why? Dentist asked me for my date of birth. I told them my full name instead. When our cat was having kittens, a friend was petting one of them and I said, "Yeah, no, her mum's also a cat." When I explained to my dad that my boyfriend really liked BJ's. While they were both sitting there meeting each other for the first time. BJ's is a restaurant chain where I live. A couple of months ago, I got up and drove to work as usual. Later, my girlfriend texted me from home to ask me if she had left her sunglasses in my car. I told her I wasn't sure, but she could grab my spare key and go check. In my car, which I had driven to work. I was a cashier about a year ago and I had to unlock the bathroom for people when they needed to go. So anyways, I unlocked the bathroom for this guy and he says thanks and I replied, "Have a good one." That's what I always said when people left, after they bought something, not when they're going to shit. I hated that job. When my ex-girlfriend asked me if I could imagine a future with her and I said, no. Many years ago I texted my cousin. I can't find my phone anywhere. The same phone I was texting him on. Do they speak Spanish in Spain? I was discussing my husband's experience with a childhood urinary tract infection. We're both medical, so not that weird, and I asked if he was circumcised. My husband. Reading some ingredients and all the allergens were in capitals. I loudly asked, "What's EGG?" I was working in a drive-in ticket booth for a fancy heritage park in Yorkshire, when a car stopped at my booth with a young couple, a toddler and the cutest a corgi in the back. They asked a few questions about the park and asked if it was okay to ride a tricycle around the grounds. Me being completely enamored with this dog, hesitantly said yes and how I was so excited to see this dog somehow ride this tiny bike. It was for their toddler. That I forgot in the backseat. We had a good laugh about it, but it was still a big smooth brain moment. When the cashier said, "Have a nice day," and I replied with, "No, thanks." Background. I wasn't thinking straight that day, and thought they said, "Do you want a bag?" What month is April in? I hadn't slept in a couple days and was trying to figure out what the date was. In my head I was wondering what 1 pound of water would look like in terms of volume. What I said out loud however was, how much does a pound of water weigh? Probably the time I was on my honeymoon in Hawaii when I asked my new husband why there wasn't a bridge to Hawaii. Me. I mean, if there can be a bridge to Alaska, why can't there be a bridge to Hawaii? Husband. There's not a bridge to Alaska though. Me. Then how do people drive there? Husband. Canada. Canada is the bridge. Still just about die of embarrassment every time I think about that one. I was student teaching and discussing my weekend plans to visit my cousin. One teacher said, "Oh, you're visiting your cousin? I thought you said you were going to visit your boyfriend." In an attempt to gloss over his mistake and communicate the sentiment of, "No worries," I instead shrugged and for some reason said, "Same thing." Did a meet and greet with a musician at a concert and said, "You're a huge fan of mine." Awkward silence ETA. Was going for, "I'm a really big fan of yours," edit number 2. Thanks for the awards, you kind strangers. I said okay, after a girl was breaking up with me, not realizing what happened. I've stopped myself multiple times from asking my parents, how old was I when I was born? I just have an urge to ask that sometimes. I was like 18 or 19 and still thought the term, rabid dog, was rabbit dog, and I said that out loud in a car with my friends. I still remember the exact location we were driving by when it came out of my mouth because I felt so stupid. In my freshman year of college I was dorming next door to a couple cute girls. About a week into the first semester one girl walked from the co-ed showers to her dorm room in her towel still wet. We were both unlocking our doors to get in our rooms when she looks at me and says, "I know I look stunning," sarcastically. To which I replied, "Don't flatter yourself." I had to slid a note under her door explaining I was tongue-tied as she was beautiful and I meant to say, "Don't be hard on yourself, you look great." Or something to that nature. We became good friends. I don't understand why people place bets on who wins. Why not just place bets on who loses? Yeah, it took me a minute to register what I said. Edit. I honestly didn't expect this to blow up. The bet was just a simple football, soccer bet for who would win the match. One team was favorite so the odds weren't great and that's when I said what I said. By picking a winner, I am picking a loser too. I hope that helps clear up any confusion. This just happened an hour ago. I'm in this cafe to leave a bunch of flyers I made. As I'm leaving, the waitress tells me she likes my perfume. Normally, I'd pick up on this as sort of a chat-up line and politely diffuse, but because of COVID and a recent breakup, I'm just not in that mindset at all, so I just blurt out, "Yeah, I put on extra because I didn't shower today. And I sweat a lot. Like, I can't even fucking cringe at myself, I'm so horrified." Even if she was just being nice, I'm now a weird story she can tell her friends. I'm such a fucking moron. Edit. Oh yeah, I completely forgot to say what she was responded. So after I said that, she hesitantly said, It was a compliment, and we were wearing masks, so I can't be completely sure, but I think she smirked. She definitely smirked with her eyes. Again. Complete fucking moron. During my supermarket days, somebody asked me where the toilets were. I replied, "We don't sell toilets." I still cringe. I was about 4 months into my current job, feeling confident being fresh off the contract to hire period, now moved into a coveted full-time role. While walking back to my office from the morning Kanban I was stopped by my boss, head peeking out of the office. "Boss. Hey the mediator, do you have a sec?" Me. "For you, I've got lots of sex." Boss. Asterisk wide eyes. Mouth dropped asterisk if you're curious why this was incredibly stupid, embarrassing. Try saying the phrase, "lots of sex," out loud. Preferably, not to your boss though. This ice is cold. It was cloudy enough that I could see the shape of the sun behind the clouds. I, shit you not, looked at my husband and said, "Oh, I didn't know there would be a full sun today. Like a full moon. But the sun." The look my husband gave me had me reconsidering that master's degree I have. When I was a kid I would play the yellow car game, where you punch someone when you see a yellow car while on the road. Me being 10, I escalated it to anything that was yellow in and out if the car. Carrying groceries and I proceeded to smack my dad and proclaimed, "Yellow orange juice." I was 18 and worked at a dental office. I pulled charts and kept the client waiting area clean. It's the end of the day. A man wearing sunglasses walks in with a black German Shepherd and takes a seat. I asked, "Can I help you?" He says, "I'm just waiting for my wife Maria. I worked with her." I said, "Oh, nice to meet you." And I stick my hand out to shake his hand and he didn't do it immediately. He said, "I'm not sure if you are trying to shake my hand or not, but I'm Mike," and laughs a bit as he puts his out, and I just grabbed it slightly confused but said, "I'm Angie. Maria should be out soon, all the patients are out, so I'm just cleaning up." There is a folded newspaper sitting in the seat next to him. So I ask him, "Did you want to check out today's newspaper while you wait, or can I put it away?" He laughs and says, "Nah, you can take it. Not like I can read it anyway, right?" I still didn't get it. After I was putting away the magazines it hit me and I said out loud, "Oh shit. You really can't see, can you?" Dude was literally blind. I'm a fucking idiot. Obviously that perfectly well-behaved German Shepherd was his seeing eye dog. The sunglasses. Him not finding my hand. Him actually telling me he can't see the newspaper still didn't click with me. Luckily for me, he is a really great guy and found my mistake as innocent and hilarious as it actually was. From then on, whenever he came in the office, he'd take the bus, completely blind. He's so independent. Being so naive, I just didn't know he could be that independent. It would make my day. We became good friends. I'm still friends with some of the people who worked at that dental office, so I've gotten to see him a few times over the years, and every time I sneak up behind him and whisper to him, "You really can't see, can you?" And he goes, "Angie. How the hell are you, girl? Give me a hug." Every time, lol. But seriously, how dense can be. It sometimes amazes me. I was wondering why they had shut the gate at my kid's school, and I looked around and saw heaps of crows, and I said to another parent, "Probably shut the gates to keep the crows out." Flushed woman facepalming, woman facepalming, woman facepalming. As soon as it left my mouth I remembered they can fly. The other parent lost it laughing and I wanted the floor to swallow me up. Just out of the top of my head, last week or so I said, "Is the brain a part of your body?" I was on a business call at work. The finance manager and I faced each other in our cubicles and the wall between us was low so that we could see each other. We had a good working relationship and we laughed a lot. One day as I was hanging up the phone from a vendor who had just agreed to make changes to everything I needed her to do, I exclaimed, "Thank you so much. You are so bendable." I hung up the phone. He looks at me and he says, "You just called her bendable." I said, "No, I didn't. I thanked her for being so flexible." He burst out laughing and I said, "Wait, did I?" But this time he was laughing so hard I knew that I did. Two choices: let it go or correct myself. I couldn't let it go. I called the woman back and apologized. She asked me for what. I said, "I was trying to thank you for being so flexible, but I called you bendable and didn't realize until I hung up what I had actually said. But my coworker is sitting there looking at me laughing at me, so I just had to call and make this right with you." She responded with, "No worries, I'm here laughing too." One of the many that I can actually remember, because my husband will never let me live it down, was being at a farmer's market and reading a handwritten sign out loud that said papaya and then asking my husband what it was. "It's papaya," he replied. "Fuck, what is my name again?" While out for a walk I admired a cute dog. I wanted to ask what breed it was, but my brain wasn't working. Instead I asked, "What brand is your dog?" Which startled the owner, and myself. My attempt at correcting myself resulted in me blurting out, "Species," which only made matters worse. When I was getting my COVID vaccine I asked what shape the needle was. Little me. Talking about a baby dinosaur fossil. It would have lived longer if it hadn't died. I meant that their lifespan was a lot longer, but I was playing on my phone, extremely focused, and I sneezed. Couple seconds later, I said, "Bless you." And no, I was not alone at the time. Once a friend was taking a graphic design class. They asked me for my opinion on a project they was doing. They had to redesign road signs. They asked me if they should have a handpaper on the sign or the words, "Stop." I said, "You should have the word stop because blind people can't see the hand." They then looked at me and asked, "You know blind people won't be able to read stop either?" I thought blind people could somehow read letters like a normal person, but couldn't see anything else. Well, I worked in politics in the early to mid-2000s. I'm in DC. We were going to the White House for a photo shoot with the POTUS and some legislators. I was one of a few folks taking the pics for the people from my state. I walk up to a gate, not necessarily the right one, and a uniformed Secret Service officer with an automatic weapon and ask, "Where's the Oval Office I'm supposed to shoot the president?" He cocks his head to the side. And I'm immediately like, that was a really stupid way to ask that questions, wasn't it? He deadpan said, "Yep, and you couldn't see it even if I told you." I explained I was supposed to enter on a certain side and I was trying to figure out where. He made a gesture in a direction. I thanked him, apologized again, and walked away. I hear him laughing behind me as he radioed the other gate. I got to the proper gate and the agent looks at me and says, "Well, you must be our shooter," and snickers. I replayed that in my head a 100x over. There was a guy walking towards me and said, "Hi, can I ask you some questions?" And I said, "Sorry, I don't have any." Me when I was 10-something years old. Mom, did you take showers without water in your time? Edit. Thanks for the upvotes. When I was living up in Fairbanks, I was out driving with my parents one day. There was a truck in front of us that had a decal on the back window. It had the word, home, written, except that the O was replaced with an outline of the state of Alaska. My dad says, "Oh, that's cute. They replaced the O in home with Alaska." My response: "Thanks for explaining that, because I had no idea what Alaskame meant." High school quiz bowl. Basically Team Jeopardy. 9-letter word for said forcefully or excitedly, me. Ejaculated, it was exclaimed. Ejaculated has 10 letters and while technically could have otherwise been correct, e.g. the Snape ejaculated slughorn meme, that nuance was lost on a room full of high school kids. Me last Friday after a long terrible day, trying to return an item. Cashier: "I'm gonna need your name. Me. No thanks." Pulled up at Hungry Jack's drive-thru, ordered nuggets and a McFluffy. Hysterical laughter over speaker: "Ma'am, it's a McFlurry, and this is Hungry Jack's." My teenagers still bring it up. I was giving a presentation about my club in high school, and at the end I wanted to invite people to come visit us, so I went to say, "Stop by," or, "Say hi." But instead I managed to tell about 100 high schoolers to stay high. Didn't know why everyone laughed till my friend told me what I said later. Thanks for watching. See you later.